It was a huge sports cheating controversy. This is, and what I think are some of the best athletes in the world. And that's in the world of chess. Are they athletes?
We're not getting into this.
What?
We're not doing
My answer is no, and I love chess.
Of course not.
They're game players. They're board game players.
But when you find out that they're burning however many calories they are, they say with all the glucose being burned in the brain.
But you could say that about us doing this show for 4.5 hours, but that doesn't make us athletes because we do this show.
But chess means that they are, the level of burn rate in that is much higher.
Not doing it.
Not athletes.
Like, it is interesting, though, that they say that those guys have to carbo load.
But then you could say that a college student doing a calculus course is burning just as much, but that doesn't make that college student an athlete because they're doing that.
But what if you found out that the chess player, the grandmaster level chess player, is burning, say, 10 times as much as the calculus
Wouldn't
student?
change my opinion at all.
Okay.
Everybody's got a different definition. Your definition of an athlete is that everybody's an athlete.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Nintendo gamers are some of the greatest athletes we have.
They're some of the greatest athletes we have. That is correct, Giorgio.
Okay.
It's esports, and it's a big deal to a lot that goes on.
It is a big deal, but they're not athletes.
No.
Video games.
Anyway, chess grandmaster Hans Niemann.
Hans?
Have you ever heard a news story about him?
No.
Sound familiar, Craig? You're in the world of chess.
It seems like you did something on him recently. Did you?
Yes. He was accused of cheating.
The booty.
But he has officially been cleared of allegations that he used vibrating anal beads to cheat.
What a wild allegation.
It says here he was already a prodigy at just 20.
It's a little late.
Yeah, that's a weird way of wording that. And is that unusual to be a prodigy under the age of 20? I thought that was the kind of the definition of prodigy.
Oh, I thought they were saying he became a prodigy at 20.
It says he was already a prodigy at just 20.
Are most chess players in their 40s and 50s or something?
No, I think the good ones are like really great by 20. The sentence should read, he was already a prodigy by 2.
Right.
Not 20.
Right. Anyway, he sued Magnus Carlsen, who is the world's top-ranked chess player and has been for many years. And he sued another player for defamation after they publicly alleged that he was cheating in these ranked matches. Now, Niemann is a self-taught player. What does that mean?
I guess he's never had a mentor or hasn't studied the other player.
In
well,
golf,
maybe he's
it means
done
you
that.
just do it all on your own. You don't have anyone
coaching,
giving you a lesson or coaching you.
I find it weird to think that he has never been taught by anyone. You mean he never watched a YouTube video or anything?
Yes,
someone taught him?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Why is it that it's mentoring if it's in person, but if you're just watching YouTube videos, then you're self-taught?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he is from San Francisco. He beat Carlsen in this prestigious match that happened last September in St. Louis. And it busted up Carlsen's 53-match win streak, which is huge. And so then Carlsen accused him of cheating. Now, this lawsuit that Niemann had filed against Carlsen was dismissed back in June by a judge here in the U.S., and in it, Niemann had claimed that Magnus Carlsen paid another grandmaster. This is so childish. Magnus Carlsen paid another grandmaster $300 to shout "Cheater Hans" from the public balcony during the tournament. The world's greatest chess player is paying another grandmaster to yell this during the event. But that was the tournament that Magnus Carlsen withdrew from and claimed that Niemann had cheated, which he denied. So while people were speculating on how could Niemann have cheated, because they're like, hey, Magnus Carlsen's claiming this guy's cheating, Other grandmasters have said they suspect this guy of cheating. How was he cheating? And that's when the theory came up that he was using vibrating anal beads.
And so how did that help him?
That someone, it wasn't just a performance enhancer.
Someone's watching and giving him
someone
signals.
is watching and using like a chess engine to figure out the move that he needs to do, and then buzzing his butoxity
bottom
to indicate which move he needs to make.
So he found one of the 3 people in the world that are better than him at chess to sit there and watch that match and then buzz him.
Well, as I mentioned, though, the chess engine comes into play here. So somebody is watching and using a chess engine and then
I see
letting
what
the
you're
plays, buzzing in the plays to Neiman was the theory.
Boy, that's far-fetched.
It is.
The whole thing is far-fetched.
And the crazy thing is that, and this is where I kind of feel bad for Neiman, right? Even though he's the one being accused of cheating.
Buzzed that many times during a game?
No, that's a bonus for him. To get lots of buzzing going on. Especially when they had to send in the play over and over again, and his eyes just sort of rolled back in his head. Is that someone floats this online, and now he's known as the vibrating anal bead guy.
Poor guy.
Well, he doesn't put that on his business card.
Well, yeah. I don't think he puts that on his CV under special skills or anything. But, yeah, but it started this whole series of events to where they went back and chess.com looked at all his former matches on there, and they came to the conclusion that he had cheated in hundreds of games that he had played on chess.com. Now, he came out and said, yes, that was true. Between the ages of 12 and 16, he did that. I don't think they were in, like, big official matches or anything like that. It was just this casual play. But they found some play that he had done online that seemed to mark, you can tell when it's a chess engine versus a human. Mm-hmm. There's some kind of fingerprint to it.
Huh. I wonder how many times on chess.com I'm getting beaten by a chess engine.
Oh, I bet you a lot. I bet you there's a lot of cheating that goes on there. Because you're playing other people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an honor system. You're on the honor system there.
Because sometimes I get my ass kicked so fast, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's cut that back a little bit.
So, chess.com said that, by the way, Neiman also was body scanned shortly before entering a tournament weeks later after this big one where he defeated Magnus and the allegations cropped up. So they had to run him through the airport scanner to make sure he didn't have a B plug in that was buzzing in correct moves. Did you ever think that we would have...
No.
that we would have chess dominating B plugs?
No. What a world.
But in his defense, he claims that he never cheated, and this is just complete bunk, this story that's out there.
That's horrible then.
Although if he does admit to cheating between the ages of 12 and 16, it's in him. Not the plug, but...
Indeed. Yes.
So
he has proven that he will cheat.
Right.
So that does raise some suspicion.
But
doesn't mean he did it now.
You guys have never cheated in golf. You guys have never picked up or kind of knocked a little bit further or thought, I can get this, this impediment a little out of the way because it's a gray area, so I'll go ahead.
The rules of the game everyone has at some point. They've taken a putt or something.
Right. So
it doesn't mean at the U.S. Open you would cheat.
Right.
Right. And between 12 and 16, if he's doing it on these online matches versus some over-the-board match against another player, that's a different feel to it. But it is, you're right, it's a question mark, a cause for concern, but I also think it's not determining of whether or not he cheated in big-time matches. But having to go through a B-plug body scan is interesting. I'm going to insist that before we do the show every day,
you're the only one
that the three of us have to walk through a body scan to make sure that none of us are using anally enhancing devices.
I have suspected that the two of you are linked to some radio engine that's feeding you funny lines.
Us great lines.
Because I noticed each of you jump a little bit before you deliver a funny line.
Yes.
You can say a lot of things about me. You don't need a scanner for me.
Why?
Now, you talk about this apparatus all the time.
What apparatus?
The one that you're talking about right now?
I don't know. I just started listening. I have no idea what you're talking about.
15 minutes on a vibrating thing.
A what?
Generic.
Which raises suspicion on you. You seem very familiar with them and very fascinated with them. You bring them up all the time.
I am doing a news story, a sports story, about the top-level athletes in our world, in everybody's world. And this is a very important subject.
It's not even real. It's fake. It was a trumped-up story.
Fake news.
It's fake.
Totally fake.
Witch hunt.
This is total witch hunt. Magnus Carlsen is testing positive for witch hunt now. Because that's what he's doing to Hans Niemann. Hans Niemann, that doesn't sound like an American chess guy. It should be like Tom Cripple Creek.
Did Magnus Carlsen have to take some time away after this? I thought I saw him on Twitter announce he's stepping away for a while.
Yeah, there was something weird about that. Magnus Carlsen.
Red flag.
Yeah, Magnus Carlsen was really interesting. Did you ever watch that documentary on him?
I did.
It was done several years ago. George, you'll like this. We talked about it on the air. This was the guy who, when he was great since he was a kid.
Yeah.
But at one point in this documentary, they showed him going to Harvard and playing the Harvard Chess Club. And I think he was combating 16 different chess players. Okay? So he's in the middle. They make a square of chess tables. So there's 4 per side, right? And he's in the middle of that square.
Yeah.
And they have them all set up, and there's this Harvard Chess Club that's surrounding it. And Magnus Carlsen sat in the middle, and he would move from one board to the next one, and he would play his move and then go to the next board and then play his move. So he's battling 16 guys at once, and he was blindfolded.
What?
So he had to memorize, he had to remember the moves and where all the chess pieces were on each board.
Dang.
And he was blindfolded, and he beat all the 16 guys.
It's unbelievable.
How does a human mind do that?
I know.
But he's gay.
And that same human mind paid a guy $300 in the balcony to shout cheater.
Yes. And isn't
cheater Hans.
And that is human nature.
Yes.
We're capable of such incredibly great things, and then that same person will also pay someone to do something real childish.
All right, Gordo, thank you. That's the O-Deck.
American Airlines has been slapped with a $4.1 million fine for delays on the tarmac, excessive tarmac delays. And this happened on 43 domestic flights from 2018 to 2021. You know, we have this passenger's Bill of Rights now that says that we shouldn't wait on tarmacs longer than, is it 3 hours?
3 hours.
Oh.
Which that's pretty long
like
already.
45 minutes.
I know. I've had 2 of those waits, by the way. In May alone, 3-hour waits at the gate.
Well, you were already pulled up to the jetway?
We hadn't left.
Oh.
We got on the plane, and then we sat for 3 hours. Now, on the first flight, they didn't let us get off. On the second flight, they let us get off.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. But I think, yeah, George, you're right. After about 45 minutes or an hour, you should be allowed to deplane.
Yes.
Because 3 hours is a long time in that little confined environment.
Well, I understand it more when you're arriving at a place and sitting on a tarmac than
you've already
your case, which is if they're still at the jetway.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and deplane and then reboard. How long does that process take? Is that a 45-minute turnaround?
It's probably at least 30.
Mm-hmm.
But the situation you bring up, you may have already been flying for 4 hours.
Right.
and now you land. So they would.
But it makes sense because a gate's not available for you in that case.
They
but
should
your case, the gate was available. You're sitting right at it.
I know. They should have, for those who land and they're going to sit there for a while, you should roll the stairs up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they should have like a little portable waiting room on wheels that they bring over to that plane. So you're not just standing.
Very Nathan Fielder. There's more and more added elements to this.
So you're not standing out on a runway.
Right. Anyway, this happened on 43 domestic flights. They had to sit on the tarmac for long periods of time. It's the largest fine ever issued for tarmac delay violations. It says of the $4.1 million, $2.05 million of that will be credited to American for compensation already provided to passengers. So American already handed out to those passengers, I guess, credits and refunds and whatnot. But it impacted 5,821 travelers on 43 flights. Is that the math involved there?
Sure.
How many people are on each plane on average then?
41.
43 flights, 5,000 travelers.
5,800 travelers.
So it'd be like 120 a flight, maybe?
I'm a math man.
110? I don't know.
Carroll ISD mourning the loss of a 7th grader that died on Friday evening. Julio Oliveira. He went to Carroll Middle School, had a medical emergency on campus during football practice, but I also saw where I think he was on the soccer team maybe as well. But yeah, he fainted, and I guess they took him to the hospital and found out that he had an aneurysm, an unknown brain aneurysm. So they performed emergency surgery. It didn't go well, and he passed away, and they set up a GoFundMe, and I think they've already almost got they got $50,000 as of yesterday afternoon to help the family to pay for the
how sad
unexpected expense of the funeral and whatnot. But yeah, very, very sad. And I don't know whether did he pass out because of the brain aneurysm or whether that was unrelated. I don't know. But we're finding out more information also about Robert J. O'Neill, the Navy SEAL Team 6 guy who was arrested here in Frisco that we told you the story yesterday. Now we got more details as to how this episode unfolded. It happened up at the Omni near the Star, the Omni Frisco.
We've done a show there.
Yeah, we've done, I think, a few shows, haven't we? Around 12 a.m. This is the guy, by the way, that wrote a memoir about shooting bin Laden in the head a bunch of times.
And you claimed yesterday that he got a little boozy over the weekend.
Yes. That's what he was charged with. Booziness. Public booziness. He, I guess, fell asleep out at the bar of the hotel around midnight. Another guest reported, hey, that dude's sleeping over there. So I think that the officer who works at the Omni, their loss prevention officer.
I used to know a loss prevention officer.
What?
I used to know one.
You don't know them anymore?
You don't know them?
No, I haven't talked to them in 20 years, but I used to know a loss prevention officer.
That's like the weakest brag I've ever heard.
Yay! Okay, Craig, that's an interesting story. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Hey, listen, we're going to take off.
No, can't you guys stay?
I think the nurses are trying to get in here and get you cleaned up.
That's
so
enough.
I have other interesting stories, though.
Hey, man,
that would hold us over.
Yeah,
for a while.
we'll come back. You know that
All
we
right.
want to come back and hear them. So we'll leave you here, George.
See you
unplug
guys.
it. George, unplug the machine.
Let me kick it.
Yeah, kick the plug out. Anyway, Omni Frisco up there on Cowboys Way.
Right.
You know what the address of it is? It's a very Danny White address.
1111?
11 Cowboys Way.
Wow.
Okay.
The new stadium.
So the hotel's night manager reported to police that the intoxicated man, being Robert O'Neill, the bin Laden head killer, assaulted the loss prevention officer who was escorting him to his room. Said that they woke him up. He's at the bar. They wake him up. They get him to the elevator. They offered him a wheelchair to get him to the elevator. I guess he refused.
You're pretty far gone if you need the wheelchair.
He refused the wheelchair. And so they start taking him up. And then when he gets him to his hotel room, O'Neill, according to the arrest report, this is one side of the story, right? Started trying to use his credit card to open the door because he knew it was a card key system.
Some sort, yeah.
And that wasn't working, so the security officer says, "Hey, let me help you." And then O'Neill allegedly hit him in the chest, the security officer in the chest, with his palm, which that could stop a person's heart to hit him at the right time. And according to the security officer, O'Neill called him a blanking and then the most serious of racial terms.
Oh my.
And cops get there. I guess cops arrived around the time that he's still trying to get he's still messing with the credit card and the door thing, too. And they took him into custody at that time.
Did it say what kind of credit card? Was he using a Visa or a Diners Club?
No, I don't think that's important.
Yeah, I wish we knew.
But after he got hit in the chest, the security officer said that he said to O'Neill, "I can't believe you just hit me." O'Neill reportedly repeated the officer's words in a mocking manner. "I can't believe you just hit me."
Like Dylan.
So anyway, that's a little more details. When the police officer asked O'Neill what happened that night, he refused to answer, but repeatedly asked, "We good? We good?" over and over again. Said he was just trying to go home. "We good?
We good."
He refused to answer how much he had to drink. When the officer asked O'Neill if he knew where he was, O'Neill said Addison. He was in Frisco.
Oxnard.
He said Oxnard. Notable political death. Samuel Wurzelbacher has died.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you celebrating that, George?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not celebrating. I just know who it is.
Is that Uncle Sam?
No, it's Joe the plumber.
Which I'm confused by that. Why is Samuel Wurzelbacher named Joe?
Because he was like your average Joe. That's just the name assigned to him, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he went by Joe.
How's he look?
I don't know.
How you look,
not
Joe?
Good now.
Dude.
Well,
that was an unnecessary shot. Oh, okay. Samuel Joseph Wurzelbacher.
There's the answer.
There's the answer.
All it took was reading.
See there? P1s are so lucky they have me as their investigative reporter.
Gordon Key.
Because, well, I discovered the answer. You guys didn't come up with the answer. I figured it out.
You have the story in your hands.
Okay, don't get into the weeds on this. He was known as Joe the Plumber during the 2008 presidential campaign. He had a conversation with Barack Obama about taxing small businesses. And he was worried. He was telling Obama that he didn't want to be, taxed to the point where he couldn't afford to buy a plumbing business, which is what he was saving up for. And so he had this conversation with Obama. Barack Hussein Obama.
he didn't know he was a plumber.
That's right. You know why? Because Joe the plumber's occupation was written in the Constitution. And Barack Obama hasn't read the Constitution! He didn't know! That's when you play the old-time 1920s. There you go. Yeah, it's an imitation of Mark Levin, the great one, who also played hockey, didn't he? Mark Levin?
What?
Who? Didn't he play hockey?
Are you thinking of Wayne Gretzky?
I knew there was a great one in hockey. But yes, so he was famous for that, and then he went out on the campaign trail. I think he appeared with Sarah Palin.
And McCain, too.
Yeah. And McCain even talked about him a lot in the presidential debate. I think Joe the Plumber was mentioned like 12 times during the presidential debate. But he passes away at the age of 49 of pancreatic cancer.
Oh, my
49.
gosh.
Yeah.
Man.
Not very old. Also, of course, public scrutiny starts up, and they find out he's not really a licensed plumber, and he's just an assistant to a plumber. And, you get in the spotlight, and everything gets doxxed, and just spotlight ain't that great. All the people who are wanting to be famous out there, it's ain't that great. Will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Will you tell all the people who want to be famous that it ain't that great? But then when it came down to voting, he said that he didn't want to say who he voted for in the election, but that he kind of considered McCain the lesser of two evils. Hardly the ringing endorsement that McCain was hoping for. Anyway, 49. Oh, let's see how much time we got. Okay, I'll do this one now. Oop. Where's Trumbull?
Trumbull, Texas?
I don't know whether this was in Texas or not. Look up Trumbull Robert Withington. Robert Withington III, Esquire.
Looks like Trumbull, Connecticut?
So this dude was outside a bank, and he finds this. I'm not sure if he was outside the bank or a different location, but he finds this bag laying in the parking lot. He opens it up, and it's got $5,000 in it. And so he just takes it and keeps it. Well, it was dropped by an employee of the tax collector's office who was on their way to make a delivery, the bank branch, and then was unable to locate the bag. The deposit bag fell out of his car or his hand or the stuff he was carrying, and he couldn't find it. And so this guy found it and just kept it, and now he was, I think he was charged with third-degree larceny by police for stealing a bag with several $1,000s of taxpayer money. Mm-hmm. But he says he just found it outside the bank. So what's your ruling here?
Well, if you find a bag of money outside of a bank,
probably belongs to the bank.
Probably. So
it
you
doesn't belong to the bank. It belongs to whoever was leaving the bank or going into the bank.
You can't take it home. You should return it to the bank.
But isn't there a question of quantity here? Like if you find $5 and you take it and you pocket it, that's just as much of a crime as taking $5,000, isn't it? I mean, the degree may be different, but it's still, the principle is, if it's not yours and you find it on the ground, either it becomes yours or it doesn't.
Right.
And you're ruling that it doesn't become yours just if you find it on the ground.
No, I'm ruling that it depends on how much it is.
What if it's $20?
If it's a dime, it's probably not worth taking back to the bank. There's a line there somewhere, and I'm going to put that line at $100.
Yeah.
Remember we had the famous case here in ticket history where a show host was at a store and he was looking through wallets. It was like a display of like leather wallets out there, a whole table full of them. And he was looking at one of these wallets and found one that had $100 in it. And he just took the $100 and then left. And that was a big ethical discussion that we had on the air. Like, what is the right call? And I said, you take it to the manager because it's probably somebody who gave the wallet to someone as a gift, and the wallet was returned in exchange for a different type of wallet, and the guy didn't realize that there was the $100 in there. Mm-hmm. So you give it to the store. Now, the other show host argument, though, which is a legitimate one, it's at least reasonable, is that, well, but then you run the risk of the manager's just going to pocket that money.
Right. But you have to put the moral decision on him.
Right.
You do the right thing, and then whatever he does,
that's the response to that argument is that, that's not your you don't have to worry about what he does and whether he's doing it ethically. But then the guy says, but I know if I prevent unethical behavior, isn't that good too? Well, yeah, I kind of see that.
Plus, I think in this case, there's a difference between finding $5,000 in a bag outside of a bank and a 20 laying on the sidewalk.
Right. Yes, but I'm saying in principle, it's still not your money. Do you just pocket it without doing anything to find the rightful owner? This guy was charged with third-degree larceny, so he messed up. But his argument, he said, look, I've never had a criminal record in my whole life. This is like a crock of bologna. I found money, and now it's probably going to cost me money. This is unfair. Unlawful prosecution. Boom. Elliot Gould is 85.
Greatness.
Played somebody in the movie MASH.
Yeah, he played
Hawkeye,
I believe.
And then he also played Monica's dad in France.
Or did he play Trapper and Donald Sutherland played Hawkeye?
Oh, yeah.
I think that might have been it.
Rebecca De Mornay is 64.
Yeah, whatever happened to her?
What a performance.
She turned 63 last year and 64 this year. She was in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yeah, that was creepy.
What was creepy about it?
Well, she was basically a kidnapper, wasn't she? She's supposed to be a nanny doing bad things to an infant.
No, she was hired to help the kid take a nap. That's what kidnappers do. Kyle Cook of Matchbox 20 is 48. John Hensley from Nip Tuck is 46. Is that still on the air?
No.
Leah Michelle from Glee is 37. Glee. Singer Liam Payne, I Will Always Be. Liam Payne is 30. Bob Beeman, 77.
Greatness.
Chris Sims, 43.
Okay.
Gosh, wish him happy birthday.
I like Chris Sims.
Okay, well then say happy birthday.
He's not as legendary an athlete as Bob Beeman.
No, but it's 15 times better on the air than Romo.
Jeez Louise. Okay, let's just
all right, that's
hold this segment right now.
But right now, let's open the studio door and welcome in our memorabilia expert, Shorty DeFazio.
Hey!
Hi, Shorty.
What's going on there, guys? My two favorite muses up here. Hey!
We always like to give you a chance to plug your place.
Yeah. First of all, I was a bit offended that you guys did a show from the Heritage Auction Galleries, you know? I mean, why aren't you guys ever doing a show from up in my shop, eh?
You never invited us.
Come on, you need to come up there. It's called Hey, That's an Unusual Item. It's a store up there in the Northeast.
Where exactly? New York City?
It's up there in the Maine to Maryland corridor, that area there. Yeah, it's one of those classic east of the Rockies stores. To get there, imagine you're going up the Mississippi, all right?
You hang a right.
Yeah, hang a right at St. Louis, and then just kind of keep going up that northeast way.
And we can't miss it.
Yeah, you know where the Washington, D.C., Quebec area is? Up in that area.
I've never heard it described as that.
That's way too general.
Yeah, so I brought some unusual items for you here.
Okay.
Get them out of his bag.
Good to have you in town.
Yeah, thank you there, George. Appreciate that. How about this? A Mickey Mantle rookie card.
Whoa,
all right,
wow.
This is the signature item of this auction that I got going on here. Yeah, it's a Mickey Mantle rookie card. Now, it does have a beard and Fu Manchu mustache drawn on it, but with a vintage Bic pen.
Okay.
All right, so that's good. But here's the deal, though. It was drawn by the Commerce Comet himself.
He defaced his own card.
He defaced his own rookie card. So see it, you would think it would grade out, like at a 1 because of the Fu Manchu and the beard.
Right.
But since it was drawn by Mickey Mantle himself, it goes back up to an 8 or so.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, and then he got to bump it back up to a 9.1 because it was drawn during the season he had 60 homers.
Wow.
So that's another thing. It's a 9.1
no
Mantle rookie card.
So many layers to that one. I'm not sure I want to bid on that.
This has been estimated by our team to go from $3 million to $4 million, somewhere in there.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's in yen, so that's about 20,000 USD.
Okay, that's still pretty cool.
And that's a USD stable coin. That's not dollars. That's the stable coin pegged to the U.S. dollar.
So many layers to that one. I think I'll pass.
All right, so, hey, any Cowboy fans here? Let me hear from you.
Cowboy fans.
Jerry Jones, Bravo Eugenia prototype mock-up. This is when they were building it and designing it. It's a 16-to-1 model.
Okay.
All right, but I got the actual one. You can even look in there. You can see inside there. You can see the daycare they made for Jerry Jr.
Sure enough.
There's Charlotte's costume room down here, down in the galley.
Yeah.
And there's Gene's modern art and jewelry room. You can see that it takes up the lion's share of the front of the ship there. And then Jerry Jones Sports-Free Sports Cave. It's an interesting item, but it's his war room he's got built in there. You can see it all. This Bravo Eugenia, it can't float. So if you wanted to actually take this out on Texoma or Louisville or White Rock Lake,
where?
White Rock Lake. This is going to go for $1,000. We feel very sure about that. It grades out at a 9.2.
That's a 9.2.
Yeah,
those get graded?
Yeah. All right. Then here, you'll like this, George. I thought about you. This is nice framed and everything like this. This is a recent picture, the most recent picture, in fact, of the ghost of Al Davis. He appeared at AT&T Stadium on Saturday.
All right.
And it was his photo was taken. He was visiting with Jerry Jones at the time. You can see that.
So she was right.
Yes, this was captured by the same photographer that did that Patterson Bigfoot film. The director.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I love that.
A little suspicious.
Yeah, and his grandfather took that picture of the Loch Ness Monster. You guys
the Loch Ness Monster?
The what? That's $1,500. We're expecting that to go for that.
Okay, it's not bad.
And George, everyone's always that the George Brett pine tar bat.
Yeah,
that's in the hall. That's it's a famous piece of memorabilia associated with potential cheating in sports.
Sure.
So I have here. This is also an item that was a center of controversy in a sport recently. This is the vibrating B plug worn by chess grandmaster Hans Niemann.
You actually have it?
Yeah, we have it. We bought it immediately. When it came up, we bought it out of a private sale, and because we knew that this would go for a lot. Because chess is getting more and more popular in everybody's world.
Right.
Everybody's world.
Yep.
So we went ahead and bought it, and we got it authenticated by Jose Altuve of the Astros.
Another cheater.
Yeah. He said he had experience with vibrating B plugs. So
he used one too.
He can authenticate this. So we're expecting this to go for about 10,000 yen.
Okay.
Wow.
Yen.
Yeah. Once again, and how about this? This is something that's affordable for everybody. Okay. This is called the Bruce Bochy Fragrance Pack.
Okay.
And inside it's actually a parfum that that is redolent of half-smoked cigar. There are hints of a ladle of beef stock and a fistful of sandalwood shavings. So you too can smell like the Ranger Skipper.
Awesome.
For $60.
I'm in.
Yeah. How about this? A Trey Lance San Francisco 49ers jersey. Game worn, absolutely mint condition. Not a spot on this thing.
Yeah, he didn't play much.
Yeah, not a spot on it. It's
kind of
$400.
Okay.
$400 there. All right, let's about this for you, Craig. This is it. Look at this. This is a William Shatner worn item on the original series. This is not some of those movies afterwards.
Right.
This is the original series, which I think is near and dear to your heart.
Star Trek.
Yeah, that's right. What?
That's what you said.
This was worn on the Trouble with Tribbles episode.
Loved
Everybody
it.
remembers that classic episode. This is Shatner's personal head tribble. Yes, the game-worn hairpiece that he wore, $100. It's
I am
very
in on
reasonable.
that.
Very reasonable.
I'm in.
And finally, I don't know if any of you guys out there like pictures of women,
Sure.
Well,
but we always like the sexy pictures of women.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit controversial.
Okay.
All right? Now, I don't know what's on this. All right?
What do you mean?
I just got to tell you. But Rich Dalrymple's old iPhone 8 going for $40,000 right here. Right here.
George is in on that.
I am not in on
Anybody
that.
wants it, you got 10 tries to crack into it.
All right, leave
All
Rich
right.
alone.
Hey, that's a huge line.
We'll see. There he goes. Shorty DeFazio.
Thank you, Craig. Just having a sip of my morning coffee there. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you're a jerk.
Why am I a jerk? You were the
Because
ones having
I'm
problems
on
on
the
the
line
phone.
with the doctor's office. I don't need you fake farting in the background. That's what
The
I
woman
don't
at the
need.
doctor's office thought George was having a
I'm
problem.
like searching for the mute button so she can't hear what Gordo's doing in the background. I'm sorry, sir. I'm still here.
As he's making a doctor's appointment. Yeah, I'm just not feeling well. You were saying that.
I've changed the way I've done things in the past 5 years. I don't think you're recognizing that.
Yeah, I am not recognizing it.
God, I need to re-record that. That's not bad. Play that again. That's not bad that audio is.
I think I've changed the way I've done things in the past 5 years. I don't think you're recognizing that.
Why does the digital thing make you have double voice?
Sounds like the Deep Throat Informant.
Yeah. I know it. I found a P1 sent me some old audio of the ticket from like 2005, and some of it is P1 Mark from Tulsa, and some of it is in that weird digital sounding thing like that where you have double voice and all the kinds of digital artifacts going. So annoying, but it's cool to hear some of that old stuff. Maybe I'll bring you some select cuts.
Uh-huh.
All right. Speaking of finding money, which we did a story in Muse in the News today about a dude who found $5,000 in a bag outside of a bank and just thought he could keep it and was shocked when he got charged with a crime. P1 Michael says, when I was maybe 8 and my brother was 12, we found a bag covered in blood with $30,000 in it.
Whoa. Wow.
We were scared and gave it to our dad. Not sure what he did with it. But he said we got snow cones out of the deal.
All of a sudden Dad's rolling in a new car.
Yeah, all of a sudden Dad rolls up in a
Beamer.
2-door flip-up Accord, 5-speed.
Bingo.
Remember the flip-up lights on the Accords?
Yeah.
That was my favorite generation of the Accords.
Didn't they get stuck?
No, I never had one get stuck.
I remember the Prelude had flip-up lights.
Yeah.
The Accord also had flip-up lights?
Yeah, that same time, the Accord had flip-up lights. It was like mid-'80s, I think, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think maybe the flip-up lights stopped in around, was it 86 to 89, or maybe it stopped in 86?
It did seem like most of those that you saw, the lights got stuck.
One would be up and the other one down.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that look so much. That still may be my favorite car that I've ever had.
86.
My first car that I had that was supposed to be just mine, not the hand-me-down from the family, was it was used. It was probably 10 years old, it seemed like, when I got it. It was really old. But I think it was an 86 Honda Accord DX, which was the lowest trim level, that had the crank-down windows, and it was a 5-speed. Crank-down windows, and it just had an AM/FM radio in it. The kind that had 3 FM buttons and 2 AM buttons.
No cassette?
No cassette. No. That was the most stripped-down car you could get. But, it drove so nicely. Loved it. That's the one I wrecked on Central Expressway year 1 of the ticket. In a single vehicle accident. It's a tough one, pal. P1 Glizzy Glenn says, I listened to a whole NPR show about money trucks crashing and people taking money and then getting arrested. We've had that happen here, it seems like.
We've seen video of that.
Yeah.
On 30, I think a money truck crashed, and then people were just running all over the highway grabbing money.
So wrong.
They were grabbing money.
What's wrong is that we live in a world in which people feel the need to grab money because they don't have enough, George. So what are you going to do with that?
Say that you should still pick up the money and return it to the truck?
Oh, return it to the wealthy banks, the banking system? No, thank you.
Well, I'm sorry. Have you come up with another system to hold our money?
It's called crypto.
Mattress.
It's called crypto.
How's that going?
It's called crypto, and nothing bad ever happens in the crypto world.
Crypto's fine right now.
Okay.
Bitcoin's at 25,000.
How's it on the Fear and Greed Index?
I don't know what that is.
That's something that seems like crypto people are talking about, the Fear and Greed Index. There's a little dial. It's kind of like the applause meter that tells you, are we in the fear area or are we in the greed area?
Oh.
Paul in says
Paul
you have to watch and review the Max doc. I guess that's HBO Max, not... What was the other? There was another...
Cinemax?
Cable. Cinemax, yeah. Skinemax.
So yeah.
X-Hamster?
You can watch it on HBO, but you stream it on Max.
Right. Max is their streaming platform.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's on Max. It's a documentary called Telemarketers. I'm interested. I'd watch a documentary on telemarketers.
I've seen it pop up on the menu, and it looks really good.
Yeah, and in the top 10 right now.
I'm in.
I used to have to do telemarket research. I had that gig for a while.
Wait, so you weren't even a telemarketer. You just had to research telemarketers.
I wasn't trying to sell anything. We're trying to get information about products, and still got hung up on all the time.
Were people ever rude to you?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't. And then sometimes you couldn't complete a survey because you'd have to keep them on the line for like 10 minutes. You had all these questions.
Yeah, the problem with that is the people that are answering the full survey is probably not a good representative of the people at large in the public, in the general public.
Yeah.
Because there are people who have nothing going on that have time for a 10-minute survey.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a self-selected audience there. Hulu has their own Candy series about the Candy Montgomery story, starring Jessica Biel. Some people feel that may be better than the Elizabeth Olsen one.
I've heard that.
You going to watch that other one now that you watched the one?
No.
Why?
One is enough.
He gets it.
There's too much else out
8
there
is
to
enough.
watch. Way too much else out there.
All right, so there's all this stuff to watch, but yet I never know what to watch. I sit down and I never know what to watch, yet I know I have a list somewhere of about 50 recommendations from P1s.
I know.
How does that happen?
It's too much.
And I'm one of those people that has to have the exact right thing on to sit in front of to eat my meal, and I will let my meal go cold as I spend an hour researching the exact right thing to watch.
That's so weird.
Then I eat a cold meal and watch the first 6 minutes of some program and then turn it off because then I have to go. A monster caught in Mississippi. Have you seen the footage or the picture of the alligator that was caught on, I think this was on Saturday?
Mississippi alligator.
So these dudes go out. Will Thomas and his group of Mississippi hunters were trying to capture an alligator. They had no idea how big this thing was, but they were heading out onto the Yazoo River to go alligator hunting because they have an alligator season in Mississippi now. So they tried to catch this thing, and it broke like 10 different lines, and it broke a rod. It stripped out their reels. They were on their last bit of good equipment when they tried to catch it one more time, and they finally caught it, got it near the boat, got a noose around its snout, and then blew its head away with a shotgun.
Dang, that thing is amazing.
They hauled it onto the boat. They say the boat started sinking.
Yeah.
Because it was a 14-foot boat that they were in, and this alligator was 14 foot 3 inches long.
They had the weight of, 3 guys in the boat or 4 guys in the boat?
They had 4 guys in a 14-foot boat and a 4-inch alligator that weighed 802 pounds.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't sink it.
They said it started taking on water, and they were able to get it to the shore before the thing sank because they were worried about, the boat sinks and then the alligator sinks and then they don't get to take it in and get the record. But yeah, this alligator had a belly girth of 66 inches. Well, that's about what my Levi's are. It's, that's a very Hal J joke of me. Oh, really?
Oh.
That's what I wear 66-32s.
I mean, that alligator is the same size.
Tail girth of 46.5 inches. The state record before was caught in 2017, 14 foot 3/4 inches long. So this was a couple inches longer than that.
The size of its head is amazing. It looks so prehistoric, doesn't it?
I know.
It's like a dinosaur.
The world record alligator is 15 foot 9 inches. Caught in 2014 in Alabama. But this is the Mississippi state record. They have a 10-day season for alligators. And I think that the alligator tags are pretty exclusive to get those. But gators are territorial, so they'll stay in one spot. And they say this particular one was very territorial. He wouldn't leave like a 200-yard area. So these guys knew that that's the one they wanted to get, but they didn't know how big it was until they actually got it in the boat.
Oh, man.
I know. It's so huge. And they spent all night trying to catch this thing. They caught it. Imagine how creepy that is. First of all, it's 3:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're getting this thing on the hook, and it's fighting you, and they say that was really scary. The thing would just be dragging the boat everywhere.
God.
Did y'all see a lot of gators when you lived in Mississippi?
Yeah, had one that lived. So I lived on the bayou.
Were you born on the bayou?
Son of a gun. Did you have big fun?
I want both of you to cease living right now at this very moment. So my across the street neighbor's house backed right up to the bayou. That was their backyard, fell off into the bayou.
Ricky's?
So I was across the street from it. No, this is a different town. And so I was across the street from the bayou. So maybe I was, I don't know, 200 feet from the bayou.
Alligator could easily walk over to your front yard.
And there was an alligator that lived right behind my across the street neighbor's house. And there was an empty lot next door to their house, and we used to play in that empty lot all the time,
wow.
Which was right on the bayou. And we used to watch that gator, and my brother and I would take our BB guns, and when the gator was just sitting there with its head above the water, we would just shoot that thing over and over again with our BB guns. I know. We had no permit, and it was so defeating because you'd watch those BBs just bounce off its face, didn't care. It didn't even flinch. And there were a couple neighborhood dogs that went missing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But it was so cool living on the bayou like that and seeing gators out there.
We have them around here. Louisville Lake.
Didn't
Lake
you have one that appeared near you?
We have one in Argyle, yeah. It was in some pond just off of 35.
When they took this particular gator in Mississippi to red antler processing in Yazoo City. Does any of this sound southern to you? They noticed that the gator had a metal toe tag on it, which meant that it had previously been caught and released. Huh. And so they, talked to the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, and they found out that in 2005, a resident who lived near Vicksburg had to have this gator removed from their property because it was a nuisance gator. And at that time, it was 10 feet, 11 inches long.
Man, it's been doing some eating.
Wow.
It had grown since 2005.
So there are a lot of alligators in Texas. Lake Louisville, they say there are at least 4 known gators there.
Yep.
Lake Worth, they've had sightings.
Yep.
Caddo Lake out in East Texas has had a lot of sightings.
Isn't that the only natural lake in Texas?
It is.
And Eagle Mountain Lake. So a lot of them here in the Metroplex.
Dang.
What's the difference in Caddo Lake and Caddo Mills?
One's a lake, one's a
About
town.
5 miles.
One's a mill or a series of mills?
Or is one a county? Is Caddo Mills a county or a town?
It's a high school, isn't it? So it's got to be a town.
Caddo Mills is a sandwich.
Yeah, it's a city in
No, it's a
Hunt
hot dog.
County.
And what?
Hunt County, which is just a little bit east of here.
Have you ever been? What's the closest to an alligator you've been in the wild? Was it in the Florida trip where we?
Florida trip, and we were so freaked out by how fast that thing moved.
Mm-hmm.
Because we started walking towards him. He was big. He wasn't 14 feet, but he was probably, 8?
Well, we were closer to that in the airboat excursion we took in the Everglades.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. We were right on top of him.
And remember those Japanese tourists that were getting right up close to that alligator that was
on them,
throwing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get him to pose for a picture.
That was so tense.
That was wild, though. And that alligator, we started stepping towards it for some reason. And then he turned and he ran into the water.
And he moved so fast, it was a blur.
He was in that water in like 2.3 seconds. He could have come after us.
I think gators are kind of cool looking.
Oh, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they take off your arm, don't you?
Twist.
Yeah, they latch on and just start spinning. They go into spin cycle. And they twist your arm off.
The alligator twist.
Yeah, if you can get the jump on them, you can hold their jaws shut with just 2 fingers.
I know. And for some reason, that's a fact that fascinates every small kid. Yeah, did you know that you couldn't even open its mouth even if you use like a extra strength jack that they jack houses up with those? You couldn't even open its mouth, but that you can hold it shut with just using your pinkies.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by that stat.
Mm-hmm.
You ever watch the videos of the guys who do the shows? It's always like a roadside attraction that has a gator, and he'll stick his head in the gator's mouth or his hand. I've seen a few of those go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Videos.
Mm.
Yeah, it latches down on the guy's hand, and the teacher starts ushering out all the kids out of the stands.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, we got to get back to school now and everything. The guy's going, help me! Jesus, God, help me!
Single file, single file.
Single file. Everyone just keep moving. No, don't leave! Woman, get back here! I'll kill you!
Can't wait to hear that replayed sometime.
What?
That Gordo play.
Sorry. Didn't they do an alligator show for us when we did the Everglades boat tour?
Yeah.
There was some little bit of stands that we were sitting in.
What did they do? I don't remember what the show was
I
about.
want to say an alligator rode a tricycle or something like that with its little bitty tiny legs.
One of them did a puzzle with his little arms.
One of them finished a 1,000-piece puzzle. Took forever. We were there baking in the sun for like 6 hours.
Try that corner piece.
Yeah, just do the corners first. Just build the frame. Build the frame.
But we're like at the end, I'll be damned. Alligator did a puzzle.
He did it. He finished it.
Pretty good show.
Had to look for that last piece for about 30 minutes, but dropped it somewhere. Got hung up in the carpet somehow. Anyway, that's the Mississippi Monster alligator story I wanted to tell you. And that's the end.
Yay.
All right, thanks. That's the corner.
Good morning to you.
Hi, Donnie. How's it going?
It's going well. How about yourself?
It's going well, for the most part.
Good. It's glad
Still
to hear
alive,
that.
so
I'm
I'll
glad
take
to
it.
hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had
Sometimes.
weird dreams, man.
Do you?
Last night I did. I had a dream I was trying to tackle a ghost in an Airbnb that I had rented, and I can't even have an Airbnb. So,
You can't have an Airbnb.
no, didn't I tell you that I'm banned from Airbnb?
No.
I never told you that?
No, you did not. Hang on. Before we get that story, let's put out the signal.
Do we have to wait through the whole thing?
Yes. So
jeez.
shut up.
I go look at Britney Spears pictures.
And he suddenly appears.
Here
There
he
he
is.
is.
You
Hello,
made it.
Gordon.
Yes, I had almost made it all the way home, and then I heard the signal and had to head back.
You're quick.
Yes.
That's why you're a superhero.
Okay, so I have something on my mind today.
Okay.
Why is Matt McLaren banned from Airbnb?
That's on my mind also. Funny,
Really?
we're thinking the same thing.
What happened?
Well, this goes back, man, it's been over 4 years. So we got an Airbnb for a birthday party for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And ahead of time, let them know what we were doing and all of this.
Like at a vacation destination?
It was here in Dallas. We rented an Airbnb in Dallas.
But you were living
in Dallas.
In Alabama at the time?
No, this is when I still lived here before I moved to Alabama. But
why did you get an Airbnb when you already lived in town?
We were at an apartment, and it was a big deal, so we wanted to have a larger party and a space to have people come over and just party and celebrate.
Yeah, Airbnb doesn't want you to rent an Airbnb for a party or a porn.
We let them know what the deal was, and they said it was cool. The people whose Airbnb it was.
Huh.
And it wasn't out of control or anything. What happened...
How many people?
I don't know, probably 40? 30, something like that.
That's a big party.
We told them what was going to happen.
How many bedrooms in this Airbnb?
Probably 3 or 4. It was like a normal sized house, but we didn't have a home at the time. We were in an apartment, so we wanted more space.
Way to go, Donnie.
What?
Yeah. My life had been a failure up to that point. So thanks for pointing that out. I'm aware.
You're welcome.
Not to say that it's a success now. Anyway.
But wait a second. When you say that you had told them, did you say, hey, look, I'm having my
we're having
birthday
a
party. It's just going to be a small gathering of our friends and family.
It was probably more of that nature, yeah.
So you'd kind of undersold it.
Well, we said, look, this is a big celebration coming up. I think we estimated like 20-something people going to be there, and it was probably a little bit more than that. So to be fair, more people showed up than we anticipated. That being said, what happened was a lot of people were drinking. Somebody got sick, and so we cleaned up the vomit, and they had baking soda in their fridge that we used to clean up the puke with. Apparently, we had left some of the baking soda out, and they took pictures of it and reported to Airbnb that it was cocaine and that we had been doing illegal drugs in the Airbnb. We didn't know this at the time, but if somebody reports something like that to Airbnb, they basically take their word for it, and there's nothing we could do. Nothing.
There's no appeals process.
No, there's no appeals process. They just ban you immediately. They ban your phone number, your email. It is there's no way that I can get around unless I use somebody else to book it for me, which we've done a couple of times. But yeah, it's me and the lady. Neither one of us can use it.
Dang.
And it was ridiculous because the pictures they took.
Do you have copies of the pictures?
No,
not
anymore.
Them?
They did originally, but we don't have them anymore. I mean, it would be, I don't know how much that type of drug costs, but I assume, because there was a small pile of it, that you're talking about a couple $1,000s worth of cocaine that we supposedly left behind. And there's nothing you can do of it. You can't appeal. You can't go to Airbnb and explain what was going on. The people whose home it was, we had no way to reach out to them and be like, take it to the cops, that much cocaine, take it to the police.
Well, all they have to do is put their pinky finger in it and
rub it on their gums.
Yeah.
You've watched so much TV.
That's all you have to do. Just even put it on your tongue.
Have you ever seen someone do that in person?
Once it starts bubbling, you know.
Right.
It's baking soda.
No, I haven't.
Then how do you know that works?
Yeah, how do you know?
Because of television and movies. That's where I get all my information.
And so the idea is if you rub it on your gums, then it makes your gums go numb, right?
But you're basically doing the drug right there, right? So if you
I don't think so. I don't think you get high off of it. I think it just numbs your gums.
And you okay, maybe so. I don't know.
And that's why I used to buy cocaine. Like I had a dealer and everything, and it was because I had horrible toothaches.
And it worked really well.
And that's what I would use.
So instead of getting like the Red Cross medicine, you just call it cocaine.
So I would, meet people in back alleys and buy
and was it always the shaking hands
dime bag of cocaine? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's pot.
Yeah, I don't know what the measurements are. I'm not educated in that field. Okay. But that's my thing.
There's something called an 8-ball. I know that.
Yes.
But if you're Airbnb, why wouldn't you be, hey, we need to get the police involved because that's a significant amount of an illegal drug.
Right.
And it's just, I guess, that's right. It must be cocaine. Ban these people for life. So now we have to use the other one.
I'm wondering if did they not name some other damage that you guys had done? I mean, they had to clean up puke off of something, right?
No, we had cleaned everything. Like, we cleaned the house, and I mean, it looked good. We just apparently...
You missed the spot.
Had missed that on the bedside table. It was like just a pile of baking powder.
Somebody threw up in the bedroom?
Yeah.
That's a part.
Are you sure it wasn't cocaine?
Yes. 100% it wasn't.
Okay.
So if someone tasked you right now and said, go out and get 2 8-balls of cocaine, would you even know where to start?
No.
Yes,
actually.
I know someone.
Yeah, I do too. No,
who I would call that used to work here.
I think I know
get you on the right path.
Some.
No, I don't know. I don't think that I could. I mean, I would have to ask around.
It's really interesting. I've never tried this before.
Because I would be hard pressed if I'm not going to a state where weed is legal and you task me to go get a dime bag of weed. I wouldn't know where to go.
Like right now you couldn't?
No.
Oh, man. Okay.
I don't think I do. Unless there are people around me that do that and I have no clue. I wouldn't know where to start.
I would just go to a couple of friends that I know and be like, hey, and they would immediately know. And then that makes me wonder, do they also know where to get other items?
Right.
Potentially.
I've only been to 3 parties in which cocaine was broken out, and it creeped me out each time.
That is it's creepy
a weird deal,
feeling
man.
to be around because I was...
And I know we sound like such squares because there's probably some P1s who are like, man, My buddies. A few times a year we do it, man. It's no big deal.
Because we were offered.
Too scary.
Yeah, we were offered that at a party once. Politely declined. Like, hey, do you?
Like, how
does not for me?
Like, they turn around and go, "Hey, would you like some of this?"
No, it's not. It's not just in the hand. It's just letting you know that there's some of that at this party.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was with the lady, and of course, when you're offered, it's just like the drink.
Yeah.
So my wife, being a nice fan of the soft drink, was like, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, she's a little thirsty. Yeah." And I was like, I don't know if they're talking about a soft drink right now.
Your wife was asked if she wanted cocaine, and she said yes.
Well, it was just Coke.
Oh, I see.
And she thought it was the soft drink.
Would you like some Coke? Or we have Coke available. It's in the kitchen.
Like, yeah.
Feel free.
Yeah, we got a straw. There's a straw in there. And
you're looking in the fridge. Where is it?
I'm thirsty.
It's over there. It's on the table.
Like,
I thought that was baking soda.
I don't know if that's the right one or not.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I've never tried, and I have zero interest. So
I do too.
I have interest. I'm just too scared.
Interest.
I have interest in everything.
The problem is
I'm too scared of something.
You try to go buy it, and it's the undercover cop,
right?
And you're in prison for life.
It was just when we were growing up, and Gordon, I know we're close to the same age, that weed was so evil in our youth that to where it is now, it's like you wouldn't even hesitate if someone said, "Hey, you want to, tug on this or whatever." You go, "Okay, whatever."
Do you want to tug on this?
The joke.
That's the way hip kids talk to each other.
It's just, I'm old, Matt.
Huh.
Mark that. That's a good drop. We can use that. Donnie saying
this. Want to tug on that?
Yeah.
But I always would think that it was the one. Remember the rat poison phase of weed?
What?
They were cutting it with rat poison?
Yeah. And I always thought that if I tried it one time, that's what I would get, and it would immediately kill me. And I never indulged.
So I remember when the rumor was that weed was being cut with formaldehyde, like the stuff they embalm people with.
It's interesting.
I don't know what the story is with that.
I don't know.
Okay, but here's the hypothetical. If someone came to you, if Katrina came down from heaven and said, Donnie, here is the purest cocaine. It's not cut with rat poisoning or baby powder or baking soda or Matt's miracle vomit cleanup stuff. Would you try it?
No.
Pure 100% Colombian cocaine.
No.
Why not?
I think I'm out.
And it's guaranteed not to kill you.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's not guaranteed not to kill you, but it's just guaranteed that there's no fentanyl in it,
because
or I don't know if that was a rumor or whatever.
I wouldn't know the amount to take as far as... Because you always see, in the movies where they just have the little
Jesus
key.
prepares the bump for you, so you know that it is the
right
proper.
amount.
He's omniscient, so he knows the exact right amount.
It's just how much you put on your pinky nail.
No.
Jesus pulls out his house key and
cuts it for me, puts it right there
to the pearly gates. He's like, "Oh, look at this! There's a little scoop on the end."
God, wouldn't that creep you out? If during
Jesus
the second coming,
it.
Jesus came back, but he had one long pinky nail. It was just kind of unexplained that he never made reference to.
Yeah, I still don't know if I do it. That's just something that I've never had interest in. Like before.
All right, what about heroin?
Oh, no.
Really?
No,
never.
I would. If you gave me a choice, you're definitely going coke. Like I'm not even thinking about messing with
LSD.
Heroin.
Okay, that was huge.
Now I got a very different tone shift there.
Quick about face there.
Because I've heard the differences in that's like shrooms or whatever. I've never done that.
Oh, okay.
You want
but
to?
I've always heard that. That's not. That's the. That's a little different.
You can come
natural.
on my Twitch stream and we'll do shrooms.
All right.
As we just kind of stare at the computer screen, not say anything for a while.
We'll holla.
Well, you can microdose and.
Yeah, that's true.
Just get a little
works a little different.
Because I would need enough for it to take effect, but not enough for me to feel like that I'm going crazy. And I just don't know how I could properly dose that.
Okay, what about bath salts?
No.
Or like salvia.
No.
I don't even know what that is.
Salvia, isn't that the one where people... It's like bath salts in which they go crazy.
Yeah, like it's about a 2-minute trip where like you're just gone. Like there's people that talk about they live an entire life inside of that trip.
See, that's kind of fascinating too.
Right?
And like DMT, that fascinates me as
It's
well.
only like 3 minutes.
Like where you see the burning bush and then write about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, DMT is where you see all the beings and the geometric angels and
I don't know that I want to hallucinate
intense
anything.
math spirits.
I think I'm out on hallucinations. And heroin just seems like it could kill you the first time. Remember back, this would have been late 90s when the kids in Plano were dying.
Yeah.
Like 8 of them died from black tar heroin.
That scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I was in high school when that happened. I thought, why? Like after the second or third kid died, why are kids still doing it? But yet, here we are.
And then I don't think I'd ever like take any X or anything like that, which people at parties would just say, "Hey, it's just you just feel good, man.
Sure, you just love everyone, man."
But is that the same as Molly?
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that without a drop of anything.
I answered confidently, then quickly my confidence wavered. Yeah, I think Molly and X and MDMA, that's all the same type of stuff, right? It's all the same thing. Why is everyone looking at me like
I don't know. You sound confident, so I'm going to say yes.
I'm not a drug expert.
I
just said that if Jesus gave you a key bump, would you take it?
It took me 45, 46 years to even dabble in the evil weed as far as edibles will go. So why am I now all of a sudden graduating to everything else? I feel pretty fine in my place right now.
I'm going to go to one of Matt's birthday parties.
Yeah,
I hear
apparently.
things get crazy there.
Yeah, we have piles of it just sitting around.
Because if you handed me a key full of baking soda, I'd do it, and I probably think I was on coke, and I'm like, oh, this is the greatest high ever.
What is this?
Just running around the house.
You don't even know what's happening.
That was Arm & Hammer, dude. Like, what are you doing?
We were cleaning up puke. Why did you just snort that?
Like, yeah.
Gross.
Some guy runs in. I go, oh, look at this whole pile. Can I have some?
So you've never been around cocaine that you know about?
Not that I know of, except for the one party where it was offered, but I never saw it.
But you didn't see it.
Man, okay.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I've seen it.
Done it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's illegal.
Well, I know it's illegal, but it's in the past now. You can safely.
Yeah, statute of limitations, right?
Yeah.
Great, just what I need.
It's only 3 weeks ago. So
when was this?
Minimum 10 years ago, easy.
And so what does it feel like? What does it make you feel like? Once again, we advise everyone, don't do this. This is totally... He only did it in order to raise awareness.
Yes. It was in college. I mean, it was a long, long time ago.
So is it this great feeling that everyone talks...
Pretty euphoric, I would say. I can understand why people could get way into it and hooked on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time... I would only do it... This is the dumbest reasoning ever. There was a nurse, somebody who was a nurse that was there... And I thought, okay, well, if something were to go wrong, you can save my life.
Yeah, she can easily save you from
and they said, oh,
overdose.
yeah, I got you for
As
sure.
your heart explodes in the center of your chest. She can reach in there and fix that all up.
Never again.
Just with basic household tools.
Never again.
Super glue. She has the baking soda.
Just give her a Phillips head.
Baking soda can clean up anything.
Channel locks, and she'll repair that.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's... I was a theater major in college. You see some weird stuff.
Right.
A pair of tweezers and some Cheez-Its. That'll fix
she
anything.
can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the MacGyver of nurses.
That's in my head. It made sense. So
okay. So and then, like, is it one of those deals where you had to do it the whole rest of the night because once you start, you want to keep going?
You probably were supposed to, but I just could not get out of my head that every time is like a lottery ticket of chance.
Uh-huh.
And so once I had, like, I never wanted
It's every 20 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Like, it doesn't last that long, and I never wanted to risk it again. I just was like, no.
So you did, what, 3-4 times or 5, 6?
Literally once. One time.
Really?
Yeah. And then I just have never, ever done it again, and I'd have zero desire.
But it was awesome.
It was, yeah.
Uh-oh.
But you can't, like, in my head.
The Len Bias thing screwed me up.
See, and that's
like,
the thing.
That was so scary to me.
But you just don't know how many times he's done it, how much he had. Like, you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I would never know how to get the right. Because even the first time you may have, like, a cookie or something, and it's, hey, and they'll tell you, don't have too much. Because you'll
get to feeling sick afterwards.
But you'll have a little, and then you'll say, oh, it's nothing. I don't feel anything. And you'll keep indulging until maybe you do. So it's always that warning. So I was, I probably just took a corner and was like, yeah, but I don't feel anything. So it's
like pot cookies.
It's just really weird to try to get the right amount.
Oh, dude, I went to this party one time, and there was a plate of brownies on the counter, and no one told me.
Oh, no.
How many did you eat?
I ate at least 1.5 of these things. And you have to understand, with me and pot, I hate pot. Like, I can't stand that feeling. I've tried it I don't know, let's say 10 times.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Because every time I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe everyone's always like, yeah, you didn't have the good stuff. You got to do this. There's always these mentors, mentors around me. And every single time I feel the exact same way, which is just this huge, tight ball of anxiety right in the middle of my chest, cotton mouth. I just want the feeling to end. There's nothing pleasurable about it to me. And I pounded, 1.5, 2 of these brownies, and then someone mentioned to me, like 10 minutes later, hey, what happened to the brownies? Somebody been eating it? Yeah, I ate those. They just uncovered them right before I got to the party, and everyone was going to do them later, and I could not stand it. It was such a horrible feeling.
That's a lot.
Yes.
I feel like it would just put you to sleep.
That's just got to be the worst.
Yeah.
And it's the anticipation of realizing what's happening is probably what would scare the hell out of me.
Especially you have no idea how much is in those.
Right. It's like,
all.
okay, oh my gosh, just a brownie and a half, and then you're just waiting.
Like a 300 milligram brownie.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't, that'd be horrible. I have zero desire to do anything like that.
See, my problem is I have desire to do everything.
I used to.
But not everything. There's something you'll stay away from, though, right?
And I'm wondering if it's like tied into my ADHD or something. Like I'm just always, I just don't. I eat addictively. When I used to drink, I didn't handle drinking well. I used to smoke. It's like all those things, and then every time I tried to quit, it would always be, oh, well, I can do it now. I've got to quit for like a year or something, and so I'll just start doing moderation. And it's like moderation is not really in my genetic makeup.
You either go hard or go home. That's your philosophy?
Yeah. That's tough. I mean, it's not, and I don't want to be that way. Like, I know that spiritually, emotionally, and physically, that moderation is the sweet spot, right, in life.
I've seen that with you, like when we go to restaurants, like team dinners or whatever.
Yeah.
You always kind of hesitate when you're ordering the food, like you're really careful about it.
Yeah.
Because when you go in, you go pretty hard.
I know.
And that's just your whole aspect of life, huh?
Right.
Man, I don't know if I've ever been around anyone that can.
It sucks.
And that's everything with you.
Yeah, I mean, I have to watch it too, because I'll get hyper focused. Like even if it's on musical equipment, it's like I can't just study up on one particular instrument. I've got to learn every instrument that company made during this particular period of time, and it's like crazy the way it has this effect on me.
Like, is it hard to get satisfaction in those things? Is that the mindset, or?
Overall, when I back away from it, I just go, I've wasted so much time just with a bunch of things that I get kind of addicted to or focused on. And it's
interesting.
Yeah, I know.
It makes sense, actually.
It may be just a dopamine imbalance in me. I don't know if ADHD, I guess, affects your whatever, to where you're always looking for something to give you that, what the other people's baseline is.
No, I think you're right.
Have you noticed this forever? Because we didn't have ADHD when we were kids.
No.
It wasn't diagnosed.
Yeah, I wasn't diagnosed until I was an adult. And I still thought the diagnosis was BS for many years afterwards. Because I'm like, I don't have ADHD. Because I also thought that, well, I don't have trouble focusing when it's something I want to focus on. Because I would get in these hyper-fixated places to where I would I would focus on whether I got into, I don't know, Roman history. And then I had to learn everything about Roman history at once. And then after that passion was over with, then it was, I wonder what clocks from the 1890s. I want to study and figure out everything about that. And I would get hyper-focused on that. So I was like, if I can focus on something, that doesn't seem like hyperactive attention deficit disorder, because I do have attention. But then I found out that is also a symptom of ADHD, is the hyperfixation.
How'd you get diagnosed? Did you go somewhere professionally?
I had to go see a psychiatrist.
Because I've had people say that they think I have it, that are very close to me, that are like, I think you probably have this. I'm like, what? I mean, kind of like you.
Yeah, it sounds bogus to me, because it just sounds like, because it seems like everybody's getting diagnosed with it, and I have, So I was resistant towards it, but then it started making sense as explanatory to my life experience, which was that I did always have problems in school.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was just because school didn't interest me, but then I also started realizing I just couldn't stay in that sweet middle ground of kind of constant, steady work will get you across the finish line. I always didn't focus on anything until the very last moment and then have to do an all-nighter to get something done because I couldn't stay focused on a day-to-day basis.
Man.
And so
that's how I
And so I was always behind in school.
Yeah.
And then I always had to do this thing of, to cover up my deficit, I would have to do these Hail Marys of creativity to impress the teacher with this incredible, I don't know, presentation that I did that was outside of the rules, but she would reward me for being so creative with it. And then, so then I learned the thing about how, well, I can't seem to paint within the lines. And so I was always having to paint outside of the lines in order to make up for the fact that I couldn't paint inside the lines. Anyway, long story short is it taught me some maladaptive behaviors that ended up working out for me professionally. Sure. But it made life very difficult to live that way. And it caused a lot of angst with me that I couldn't seem to do what other people around me seemed to be able to do. Like go to college and succeed.
Man. We have to hit the signal, but we need to we need to Ted Williams your head when you're gone.
Yeah, saw it off
because we need
stick
to
it in cryogenic freeze next to Walt Disney's head.
Yeah, we put some cocaine in it, and then we need to explore.
Yes,
what your head and your brain is all about. That's fascinating. I didn't know all this about you, man.
Well, there you go. You didn't know that Matt had done cocaine either.
No, I didn't.
You learned a lot during this segment.
Oh, what a great segment this was to start off this program. Was it? Yeah. So now I know if you call me about an Airbnb, I have to book it for you.
You would have to.
Oh, shoot. And then I just get a notice that I'm missing an appointment.
Oh, no. Okay.
This is my ADHD. I cannot remember anything that I'm supposed to be doing at any one given time.
Fascinating. All right, let's talk some Rangers next. Thank you, Gord.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
Once again, The Ticket presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
This guy sucks.
And now, here are your hosts, Sean Bass and David Mino.
The Sweet Spot, David Mino, Sean Bass. Thanks for tuning in today. Had some fun middays.
This is sweet name.
So sweet. We might change it tomorrow.
Sweet on you, Davey.
2:57. Here is an Angel/Marlin, Jay King.
Thank you, David. And here he is, Omonty.
Thank you, Jay King. We welcome in the hard line. Corby Davidson, Dave Lane, and Bob Sturm.
Corby. How we doing? Hey.
Could you, for like $10 million, replicate that? That's impossible.
There's no way.
It happened, and that's the only time it's going to sound like that.
I kind of want to hear it.
Hole in front of it.
I want to hear it slowed down.
There's just no way to do that.
Yeah.
The only man in the world that could do that is on a donkey right now.
His ass tour.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing the whole thing. Today is
Checking out the
Tuesday,
rim.
August 29th, the 241st day of 2023. There are 124 days left in the year. On this date in 1966...
This won't be racist.
The Beatles.
Okay.
The Beatles played their last live concert in front of a paying public at Candlestick Park in California.
God. Just imagine if Jerry Rice was there.
Could have been. We don't know.
And if you had
what if the Beatles
were
to sling it around offense? How many more hits could they have had?
Toss it to Ringo.
Oh, hey, Bob.
Toss it to Rathman.
You okay, bud? I know, Bob. It's all
like an
right.
infant.
A little pitched
Here
up.
you go. Just take a bite of your pudding cup. It's okay. I know. You're okay.
Did you throw up again?
He's just head wound Bob.
Somebody got a smelly diaper?
Poor baby Bob.
Sitting,
oh.
dribbling on himself.
That's good. Good, Bob.
Did someone make a poopy diaper? Little Bob?
You want peas or carrots today?
Okay, Bob. We'll check back in with you in a minute, okay, baby Bob?
Go to bed, baby Bob.
It's okay, baby Bob.
Baby Bob's Bible bonkers.
In 1997, American entrepreneurs Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph founded a little company called Netflix.
Never work.
Which didn't Blockbuster get the chance to buy Netflix?
Yep.
They're like,
They didn't like it.
We're good. Not much of a future there.
Is that true? I always heard that was a rumor. It is true.
Yeah. There's a pretty good documentary.
They were going to merge.
That's true. That's true.
Blockbuster
That's also true.
started in Dallas.
Is that on Netflix?
We think.
I think so.
Yeah, it hurts to miss that one.
But Blockbuster's doing great.
Yeah, they're doing great.
There's that one left, right?
Yep, in Alaska.
Is it still going? Where you just like stay there overnight?
Oregon?
Or yeah,
I thought it was
Oregon.
Alaska.
I think it's Oregon. Oregon sounds right.
Blockbuster offered $50 million for Netflix.
And they turned it down?
Yes.
Did anybody participate in the early Netflix where you can have 2 movies at a time?
Oh, yeah.
And we'll send one back and we'll send you your new one?
Rent them.
They are just now retiring the mail order DVDs.
For real?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever used Netflix. Mark that.
Ever? To this day?
Did you?
No.
Did you Redbox?
He just hired the actors to come perform.
Yeah,
in front
the
of them.
old model of Netflix. No, I never had anything mailed to me.
Did you ever Redbox outside the CVS?
Creek.
Oh yeah.
No, I never did that.
That was a great idea, but I hated
the
having
red.
to go
Oh, that was a
turn them
great
back
date
in.
night. The
I was
Red
just
Box.
So beaten having to take them back.
Go get some Takis. And
Oh yeah.
4 Loco.
Four Loco.
Really round out the night.
Takis and Redbox. Pick something out in Redbox. I'm going to go get the Takis.
Anything you
I'll
want.
meet you up front.
Put your head underneath the sunscreen.
Yeah, because how long were you going to be standing there? You're going to get sunburned.
I got a promo code. Get this bad boy for 50 cents.
So Ty, you said Blockbuster offered $50 million for Redbox, and who turned it down? Redbox said no.
You mean Netflix?
Netflix said no.
They said no. Now Netflix is worth $186 billion.
Oh my!
It is not worth $186 billion.
That's their market cap, bro.
Did they go public?
Yeah, they're public.
Oh, Baby Bob. Baby Bob's back.
Bob, he's awake. You woke him up.
Damn it.
All the drops.
Stop talking so loud.
You can put him back to sleep with
We're on the white noise machine, okay?
I do like Baby Bob's Bible Bonkers. I think we need to roll with that. Huh. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina struck the U.S. Gulf Coast, devastating the area, especially New Orleans.
Way to go, Bob.
Especially the Superdome, which got filled with doo-doo.
What happened to the sword drill at fight night?
Oh yeah.
You need to turn off
Yeah, what happened? What is this?
Gordon's air purifier over there.
Did it just come on? Does he have it on a timer or something?
I don't know.
For
It's not a clapper.
303?
Yes, clap it off, please.
Yikes. For Denver, Colorado at 3:03.
In 2008, American politician John McCain named Sarah Palin as his running mate. The first time a woman appeared on the Republican presidential ticket.
She can see Russia from her house.
Mm-hmm. And her daughter doing it. Bristol. And in 2012, the USADA claims to have stripped Lance Armstrong of his 7 Tour de France titles.
Give it to me, Lance.
He kind of kept those. If you saw the documentary, like his entire living room is adorned with yellow jerseys with like this weird light framed coming into him. Like it's elite framing.
Remember when everybody loved Lance Armstrong?
Yeah.
And then we realized he was a huge a-hole.
The worst.
We're like, you know what?
Like
All because he
the
had his
worst.
left
He's got
ball
one
removed.
ball.
You feel really dumb for having a Livestrong treadmill.
And those bracelets.
We were
Guilty.
willing to forgive the doping, but you can't be an a-hole.
No.
Those got me through some tough times, David.
Were you confessing to that, Sean?
Yeah, we have a Livestrong treadmill at the house.
I didn't realize he
Nice.
made treadmills. I thought they
Yeah.
were just bracelets.
He'll
Is
sell
it
you
a-
whatever
Get
you
a hold.
want.
They branched out.
Is it a
Equipment?
laundry rack now?
Pretty much.
Right.
I mean, look
Tax
at me.
returns on it.
Yeah,
He makes whizzers.
I got a Livestrong shake weight. It's pretty great.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
A Livestrong fake penis whizzers.
A Whizzinator.
All right, P1 birthdays today. Hey, Monty, happy 46th birthday to me. Leaders are day drinking Jub, Corby's love affair with the word unbelievable, And the participants in Hog Court drop request some kind of ticker tease.
What is that? What is a ticker tease?
I'm Sean Bass. The Cowboys try to deliver at FedEx. Details next.
Oh, no.
Someone throw him a life jacket.
Talk about babies.
Get him out of the
baby
water.
Sean.
I was being choked with
Baby
a wire
Sean
from behind.
On your bassinet?
Yeah, it does sound like someone's pulling you down.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
One more time.
I have to finish.
Ugh.
I'm Sean Bass. The Cowboys try to deliver at FedEx. Details.
Oh, no.
Like, they've got your shoulders and they're just yanking you back into the water.
Gotta get this ticker out.
John Wick's got a piano wire.
Yes.
Got a clever line about delivering at FedEx.
John Wick has a
Forgot about
piano
that.
wire. Wait, I want to hear piano wire go around his neck one more time.
I'm Sean Bass. The Cowboys try to deliver at FedEx. Details next.
There he goes.
Maybe the wake and bake wasn't a great idea today.
There he goes.
Wake and bake is always.
I wonder
great.
when that was from. Because, you sound maybe like 25. You
about
sound
right.
very young.
That's about right.
He ends his email with holding a good thought for Dave finally getting his photo on the app. That from Brian.
Well, we need another photo
Hey,
shoot because the last photos we took, I was big and fat.
Pre-soda.
Let's get another one done.
Husky Dave.
Yeah.
PH fat.
Husky Toughskins. That's my porn name.
He was a big boy.
Hey, Monty, I need to wish a belated birthday to my brother Michael. He turned 38 over the weekend. He couldn't have been woken up in that special way because he's divorced. I mean, he could have got a
Probably more likely.
a pro or something
Are
to
you
help out with
kidding?
that. Leaders are Bob and Norm, both somehow being wrong about Randy Gregory.
Come to think of it.
Yeah.
No one won.
Bit of stalemate.
Completely opposite views, both dead wrong.
P1 Steve says, love your buns, would love to hear, and there's just no way he has one of these ready, a joke from Line 4 guy.
Yeah,
We'll
didn't
go
do
and move
jokes.
on because he can't have one.
I haven't seen
You
Line
guys
4
are
guy.
putting me out of the spot here and everything, but two blokes are having at it down at the pub, and one says to the other, what do you call a policewoman who shaves the pubes?
Yes.
We got it.
Constable.
Constable.
But I'm going to continue to laugh now.
Constable is what you call her.
I'm sorry, mate.
That's an
You're okay, mate.
British
It's okay.
L4G.
He's got the automatic ejection.
What part of the UK are you from?
He don't know.
But no, you
South.
British
cannot
L4G
say
doesn't have as much
stubble.
content.
I don't have my map out.
Somewhere in the Midlands.
Please wish my buddy and fellow Fight Night fighter Matt the Toolman Taylor a happy birthday. Leaders are Donovan and Gordo. Drop request. Donovan, can you tug on that? Followed by a Bobgasm. That from Brandon.
Hey, you want to, tug on this?
Yuck. He was so forceful to you, Bob.
Indeed.
Constable.
It's a man that knows what he wants.
Donovan's just rolling his window down.
Right.
Stoplight.
What's up, baby Bob?
At least he asked. And we have my best friend Ethan turning 30. Bob is his leader. Drop request. Bob singing.
Oh.
If only that's ever happened.
Rockin' Robin.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Rockin' Robin.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Down, girl.
It's the Butthole Surfers.
What if he sings, I don't know, Bush?
So sorry, Corby.
Oh, it's okay, Jay.
How's your day
Put
been?
you on the
Did
spot.
Did you have a sandwich today? Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe
Some cowbell in there.
It's not quite starting.
All right, we've been long enough. Birthdays today. Elliot Gould is 85.
Yep.
He of MASH
and
the
Friends
Ocean's movies.
He was
MASH.
Ray Donovan.
Monica's dad in Friends.
I thought it was boyfriend.
No,
you're thinking Tom Selleck.
My friend.
Yeah, he is no Tom Selleck, sir.
Who
was Paul Rudd doing in Friends?
Dating
Chandler?
Phoebe.
Yeah, dated Phoebes.
Being all likable.
Right.
The best one, Phoebe.
That's Coover. Carla Gugino is 52. She was in Spy Kids and Son-in-Law. Remember the
Is that
Pauly
Pauly Shore
era? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The Weasel.
Man, I thought he was going to be a comedic game changer.
He tried to hit on Fernando.
It's true.
He
We got
did.
handsy.
Fernando does have weird
That
Pauly
is
Shore PTSD.
Maybe of all the ticket weird stories, that may be the weirdest. That Pauly Shore made a play for Fernando.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
He tried to Urban Meyer Fernando.
Let's talk some Mets, buddy.
I did.
Where'd you get that fedora, buddy?
Like those
Jordans.
Let's get Peter King to
want-
join in.
You want a reach around, Roy?
Bob, Jennifer Landon.
It's called the Schlong.
That is Teeter from Yellowstone is 40.
Bob, what are we going to do about these Packer special teams?
Teeter?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's the chick that chews tobacco, right?
Yeah, the pink-haired girl.
Yeah. Got to keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
She's wild.
She's a wild one.
She
Leah
likes,
Michelle.
She likes some dark.
She does. Her and Colby get it in. Leah Michelle is 37. She of Glee.
That's right. What was the guy's name from here that tragically passed away?
It's been like 5 people from that show that died,
Puck.
right?
Dan McDowell.
Puck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Glee deaths.
And
Like he went to Lake
Corey Monteith.
He went to Lake Highlands, right?
Jinx.
Puck.
Corey Monteith.
Yeah.
Mark
Which I had
Salling.
Yeah.
Liam Payne, 30 from One Direction. Eduardo Franco is 29,
Jeez,
Corby.
Norm.
He is the Hispanic stoner pizza guy in the last Stranger Things season.
Oh, yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah. He liked pot.
He
That
liked
was his
pot
whole
and
world.
pizza.
Well, it's not
He was a
hard.
real four-dimensional character with a lot of depth and
Right.
had a lot going on.
Let's just get a Hispanic kid that smokes weed and likes pizza.
He'll just drive a pizza truck around.
Right.
Say hola. Sports birthdays today. Roy Oswalt, former Ranger, is 46.
What an acquisition.
That's an Astro.
And a Philly.
Rangers.
You do your grid. Aaron Rowan, 46. Devin George, 46. Jamal Lewis,
Maverick.
44.
Yeah, Maverick great.
Yep. Lakers.
Jason Kidd trade.
Chris Sims, 43. A real quarterback whisperer these days. Didn't he get his spleen obliterated or something?
Lacerated, maybe?
Tampa.
Don't know if obliterated is a medical term.
David West, one of my all-time hated dudes in the NBA, 43.
Man, that guy.
What a bitch. Auntie Niemi, 40.
Wow. We had high hopes.
And Sean, he's only 31. Thor, Noah Syndergaard.
man.
Oh,
He's
future
available.
Ranger.
Get him in here. You need some arms.
Yeah.
He's on the market.
That's a no for me,
Let's go
dog.
grab him.
Why?
Some high heat at 91 miles
Dude,
per hour.
yeah.
That's terrible.
He's bringing it.
But he's Noah Syndergaard.
And Mansfield's own.
Right.
Bring Noah
That
home.
hair.
Bring our
That
Noah
hair.
home.
Yeah, he's our Noah.
What a big day for Metroplex Noahs.
Bob,
No,
what are we going to do about all these penalties on defense?
Fake enthusiasm. Born on this day now dead.
Make a promo.
John McCain. Richard Attenborough, who was the old guy who brought back the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. You know
Joel
what?
Schumacher.
You know how old he was, honestly, Monty, when Jurassic Park was made 30 years ago?
No.
35.
Sir Richard Attenborough, at the time of filming of Jurassic Park, was 29.
Serious question. Is he related to David?
Yeah, I think all the Attenboroughs are related.
Also, Corby, Michael Jackson.
Died?
Breaking
news.
Okay. Now dead.
Michael Jackson
So no
was
breaking
born.
news.
Yeah.
Georgetown.
Good news for
And-
kindergartners.
Speaking
Bingo.
of that, dead on the stay still dead. Brigham Young. Richard Jewell.
Oh, come on, man.
Falsely accused.
Guilty.
Falsely
I still say go
accused.
back and look at the evidence. He might have had something to do with it.
Is he spelling Juul?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
The
pod. Ed Asner.
Lou Grant.
Ticket's own.
Yeah,
Was
wasn't
he
he
on the
pretty
Musers?
awesome with
Yeah.
the Musers? Yeah, I think he had a good back and forth
Gordo
with
had
Gordo.
an interview with him.
Lou Grant's awesome.
I think Gordo had him on his Twitch one
Wait.
day.
Lou Grant's not awesome, but Ed Asner is.
P1 Lila was great friends with Ed Asner. I think she was the one who got him on with the Musers.
What happened to Lila?
She's still around.
She's doing great.
Lou Grant or Bud Grant?
Also, down the stay still dead.
Bud.
Or Horace Grant?
Is Bud still alive?
He just died, right?
That's right. But didn't he come out for a Minnesota game wearing like a tank top when it was 3 degrees?
Gene Wilder.
Short sleeves. What about Ulysses S. Grant
Down the stay still dead. Gene Wilder.
How about Hugh Grant?
versus Atlanta?
Great
big one.
Gene Wilder.
The great Gene Wilder, indeed.
What about Evan?
What about Evan Grant? Wait,
Bye, Justin. Bye, baby Bob.
What about Eddie Grant?
Mama, no, bye, over
There goes baby Bob.
TXU Energy Mothership at Victory Park, powered by the AAC.
But yeah, so Igbinoghene.
Whoa.
Igbinoghene.
Yeah, you're right, Dave.
Igbinoghene.
Let me read his name a little bit closer. Started just 5 of his 32 games in his time with Miami.
And it's brought to us by Dave.
Dave.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dave.
Have you guys heard the name Vivek Ramaswamy?
Yeah, he's the Republican presidential guy, right?
Yes. He is the youngest in the field vying for the Republican nomination. He's 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he is trying to connect with the younger demo.
Okay.
And in doing so, he likes to use Lose Yourself, the Eminem song, as his preferred walkout song.
I'm sure Eminem loves that.
And he was at the Iowa State Fair the other day doing it's called the Fairside Chats with Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds.
Okay.
And so they're doing some handshakes and selfies after they had their little Fairside chat, and they pump up Lose Yourself on the speakers once again.
Mm-hmm.
And Ramaswamy still has the mic in his hand, so he starts to do a little bit of karaoke to Lose Yourself. You want to hear this?
Yeah.
Loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's joking how everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, plow, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity, oh, there goes gravity. Choke, he's so mad, but he won't give up that easy. No, he won't back that he knows his own back that he's hopes, his own bad that he's close. He don't matter, he's old, he's so sad that he knows when he goes back to this mobile home. That's when it's back to the lab and begin your soul rhapsody. Better go capture this moment and hope it don't catch you. Lose yourself in the music, the moment.
I mean, he knows the words.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Well, turns out Eminem does not like it, even though that was a fine rendition.
Yeah.
So BMI, the publishing organization that represents Eminem, has informed Ramaswamy's campaign that it will no longer license his music for use by the campaign. In a letter dated August 23rd, BMI says it, quote, received a communication from Marshall B. Mathers III, professionally known as Eminem, objecting to the Vivek Ramaswamy campaign's use of Eminem's musical compositions.
Okay. I mean, is there an artist out there besides Lee Greenwood who has approved usage for any political candidate to go utilize or use their songs? Every single time somebody uses a song, whoever the candidate is like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd rather not be associated with anything political.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Nothing. It never works. And so is this just shoot first, ask questions later?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
you're hoping to. Well, it's the whole ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Right.
Because if you're going to ask for permission first, the answer is going to be no.
Right.
So try and use it for as long as you can. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I teased Taylor Swift. She continues to set records. She has become the first female artist in the history of Spotify, however long that goes back, to reach 100 million monthly listeners.
Dude.
So The Weeknd holds the number one spot for the most monthly listeners on Spotify with more than 110 million. He set the Spotify record back in February. But now Taylor Swift is second with 100 million monthly listeners. Bad Bunny is third with 80 million. And Ed Sheeran fourth with 77 million. And so, speaking of publishing and licenses and everything, there's the whole deal of Taylor Swift is re-recording her catalog, so she has ownership now because she doesn't own the original recordings.
Yep.
She owns the publishing, but not the recordings. So she's going back and redoing all of her records. So she just released in July Speak Now, Taylor's version, and that debuted at number one on top of the Billboard 200. And so she is the first woman to have 4 albums in the top 10 Billboard album chart at the same time. And she's the third artist in history to ever do so. I'm sure the Beatles are one of those.
Dude,
not sure who the other two.
The amount of mojo that she has. I mean, I know we talk about it all the time, about how popular she is and how you can sell out 6 nights in a row at SoFi and you don't even blink an eye at it. It's unbelievable. Like, this is not normal. I don't know when we're going to see something like this again. Like, her fandom is crazy.
And she, we've had the story about how well she treats her crew and how well she treats her fans.
Yeah.
So you just don't see an end to this run. It seems like she is not going to have some kind of controversy that's going to derail her career.
Yeah.
So she's just going to keep on cranking out records and selling out stadiums in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Is she like the new Dolly Parton? I mean, Dolly was the same thing back in the 60s and 70s. Great with all her crew, all her fans.
But she's bigger
her.
than Dolly.
Dolly never even...
Not in some ways.
Well, true.
True.
Thank you, Ty.
Zinger. She never approached 1/100th of the popularity that this is. This is dumb.
Take that, killer.
I don't have much choice but to take her. He is the snake.
That's true.
I don't know if we could compare it to any female artist that's ever come down the pike. Right?
Come down the what?
Pike. Okay. Maybe male. But female, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this or we ever will. Madonna, but Madonna wasn't close to this.
Beyonce?
She may be the closest thing.
Yeah, got you there.
She may be the closest thing, but I don't think she's capable of... Well, I mean, she shouldn't have these records and things like this that Taylor holds. This is nuts.
Speaking of The Weeknd, his controversial show on HBO, The Idol, I don't know that we necessarily needed this confirmation, but HBO has confirmed it is canceled after 1 season.
Dude, this was really weird.
The spokesperson for HBO said, after much thought and consideration, HBO, as well as the creators and producers, have decided not to move forward with a second season. We're grateful to the creators, cast, and crew for their incredible work.
So it was The Weeknd. It was Johnny Depp's daughter, right?
Yes.
Lily Rose.
Lily Rose Depp, yep.
And who was another... was that the only 2 known humans?
Yeah, I mean, there were other people that you would recognize.
But the controversy was that it was really weirdly sexual and not in a comfortable way at all. Not that it would be...
Well, it cast The Weeknd. His character was kind of... turned out to be the leader of a sex cult.
Yeah.
And he would try to control all the people in his orbit and have them do weird sexual stuff as an exercise of mind control, basically. And
it wasn't fun, mind control, and sex cult.
And I tried to watch, and it was just so awkward and painful. And Lily Rose Depp is a beautiful girl and a really good actress, and she was by far the best part about the show. But it was just so uncomfortable.
How do you give The Weeknd, who is supremely talented, obviously, but how do you give The Weeknd kind of carte blanche on his own HBO show? Like, here, I came up with this. I'm The Weeknd. Take a look.
Well, it was also with Sam Levinson, who is the Euphoria guy.
So
it was the two of them together that got this thing pushed through. But originally, this season 1, it was supposed to be 6 episodes, and they recut it to just 5 episodes. Like, they basically recut the last couple of episodes to just get it over with.
Yeah,
because it was so bad. And by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes, 19% approval rating for The Idol.
Dude, there are very few shows on HBO that bomb out this badly.
Yeah, horrible.
John from Cincinnati being one of them. If you guys remember that.
Boy, the Hardline was into that.
No, it was me, and I admitted that I was so wrong. I couldn't finish.
On the flip side of streaming success is Ahsoka.
Yes.
The Disney Plus series that is the live-action kind of sequel to the Clone Wars and Rebels animated Star Wars shows. Mm-hmm. So Disney Plus, they don't always pull back the curtain on their streaming numbers, but they are very proud to let everyone know that the first episode of Ahsoka, which came out, I guess, last week, right, Ty?
Correct.
So far, the first episode, and they released the first 2 episodes. So I don't know numbers for episode 2. But episode 1, 14 million viewers have checked it out.
Dang.
So that's pretty
impressive.
good. And so, yes, I guess new episode 3 drops tonight on Disney Plus. So,
and y'all both enjoyed, like you thought it was.
Yeah, I mean it's
fun and
yes.
I didn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels, so the only real exposure I have to her character is from The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
which was minimal.
Yeah, minimal. She's in like 2 episodes of The Mandalorian or something.
Is she badass with the old lightsaber?
Yeah, she's got.
So far, yeah.
She does double
she keeps
lightsaber.
dropping it.
Yeah, she's like, oh damn.
And then
cut her foot off.
Time out! I got to pick up my lightsaber.
Trying to use the Force, but it doesn't work. Yeah, it cuts one of her big.
Yeah, she does. I mean, one of the first things she does this badass move where she's at like this old temple and she's looking for some relic, and she does like this jump and fires off both her lightsabers at the same time and stabs them into the ground and does like a circular motion and cuts out the stone and it drops down and she goes down into this underground cavern.
God, I need a lightsaber.
It's pretty awesome.
I think you need 2.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of history with the character and I don't have a lot of understanding of the storylines going in. First 2 episodes, a little bit of a slow burn, but really nice world building, great Star Wars vibes. I don't know, Ty, what you thought.
You know, I think having watched Rebels and all the animated series, they've done a really good job of going from animated to live action so far.
I mean, is this going to be a keeper? Because there was a lot of skepticism on Boba Fett and.
Well, the speculation is that Rosario Dawson's character Ahsoka is kind of the new flagship character for the Star Wars franchise, because you have Rey.
Yeah,
Rey is a legacy character now, but that this character might be one that fans can really grab onto, and she can be a hero moving forward. And the big bad in this, they haven't introduced him yet, but it's kind of the search for Admiral Thrawn, who is the blue guy with the red eyes, real creepy dude.
Oh yeah.
And finally,
instead if they had Kylo Ren, they had Kylo Ken, and it was Ryan Gosling.
That would be awesome. Right? I would so watch that.
That would be awful.
With abs.
Yeah, but he's bad.
Yeah,
he's real mean.
He has like blue abs.
Yeah.
Sort of dumb.
And finally, CBS is going to have a tribute to Bob Barker. It's going to air Thursday at 7 p.m. local time. The Price is Right, a tribute to Bob Barker, hosted by Drew Carey, his successor on The Price is Right.
No way.
And it will present highlights of his career, the first episode of what was called The New Price is Right in 1972. because I guess that was, as we said, it had switched networks twice before it ended up on CBS. So they had to brand it as the new Price is Right, not the same old crap you've seen canceled twice before.
So he was like 50 when he took over that show. It's kind of kick-ass.
Also, highlights include the introduction of Plinko.
Oh, yeah.
Where the thing goes down, ding, 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 with all the pins and the little...
How about the mountain
like that little
climbing?
air hockey puck?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a mountain climbing yodeler.
His final episode...
awesome.
His final episode in 2007, when he returned to the show for his 90th birthday. Adam Sandler reading his poem Ode to Bob Barker, and much, much more. So Thursday, 7 p.m., and then they will do an encore broadcast when it's the regular Price is Right time slot at 11 in the morning on September 4th. So if you miss it on Thursday, you can catch it daytime on the 4th.
Okay, very
Are they
good.
planning on saying where he went to dinner on July 12th at all?
You're going to have to ask the estate.
You're going to have to go to the funeral and start yelling at people.
Excuse me,
does anyone in here know?
Condolences. Sorry for your loss. When did he last go to dinner out in Carmel?
Because I was there, and I swear
it was him. What are the odds?
All right, you need to send that picture out. You still got it, right?
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, because I think you're like 40 years off of current Bob Barker, but you get where you're coming from. All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, Dave.
All right. From the outset, I'm just going to let you know this is not going to be an uplifting community quick hits.
We'll see about that. We can turn water into wine.
Well, can you turn an apparent murder-suicide into wine?
Yeah.
Okay, Ty, we'll let you do it after the story.
Let's try it.
All right, so in Allen police were called to a home at 8:45 this morning, the home near East Exchange Parkway and North Allen Heights Drive, to perform a welfare check because a resident of the house was locked out. Couldn't get in for about 2 hours because family members at the home were not answering the door, and other relatives also showed up at the house to see what was going on. And so when officers entered the home, they found 4 people dead, the results of an apparent murder-suicide. One of the 4 victims, a 5th grader who attended Olson Elementary School.
Come on.
No other information immediately available, but horrible tragedy in Allen, and why anyone has to take anyone else with them, much less a child.
Just do yourself and leave everybody else alone.
Horrible. Another horrible but less horrible story, if we're going to look at the spectrum of horribleness.
Okay, let's see how Dave gauges where he goes from murder.
2 former Prosper ISD employees are facing charges in connection with failing to report child sexual abuse.
Oh, boy.
Now, this is not teacher-student sexual abuse. This is student-on-student sexual abuse. So the 2 employees, 38-year-old Rena Bursosa and 43-year-old Casey Ostrom, they are softball coaches in Prosper ISD.
Okay.
Bursosa is the head softball coach, and Ostrom was named an assistant coach this summer. They both have just started there. Bursosa started in May, and Ostrom started in June. And so they had 2 days before school started, a student, one of their players, and her mother met them in their office, and the student told them that 3 of her teammates were, quote, sexually abused and raped by another player on the team.
So this is girl-on-girl crime?
Yes. That the assaults happened at sleepovers that were off campus during the summer. Mm-hmm. And so then Bursosa, who is the head coach, told the student that the suspect involved in the alleged assaults was, quote, a good player, and that she, quote, didn't want to lose her.
Come on. No.
And so she told
that goes down to softball?
She told the student to handle the incident with the suspect herself and tell her that if she doesn't stop committing sexual assault, that she'll tell the coach. This is the coach telling the student, tell that other student that's doing the raping that if
quit
they don't
raping me.
If you don't stop raping, I'm going to tell the coach. The student also told her therapist, and the therapist immediately contacted Child Protective Services. So then Prosper Police meet with the coaches on August 23rd about the allegations, and Bersosa told the sergeant that she didn't report the assaults because she was, quote, not aware she had to report a third-party allegation. Because the girl who brought these charges was not one of the victims. She was just one of the teammates sticking up for her friends.
So you hear that as a coach/educator, and you say, well, you know what? Since it's coming from just a girl on the periphery, I don't need to do anything.
No, it'll sort itself out.
Yeah.
It's just
Plus,
kid stuff.
This girl throws 110.
Yeah, so both coaches are now facing a misdemeanor charge of failure to report.
Whoa, what, misdemeanor?
Yeah.
This is not a felony?
Nope.
What about the girl who did the raping?
Don't have any details on that. But there has been a letter sent to parents about the allegations and the arrest warrants for the coaches. And both coaches have been placed on administrative leave.
Yeah.
As you might expect.
I would think that they're not going to be able to get their jobs back. Man, that is...
it's
pretty hardcore.
Yeah, it's so cliche to, well, we need them. They're a good player, so let's sweep this under the rug. You just don't think that happens anymore. It's 2023.
Well, yeah. Too hot to handle.
Ridiculous.
It's not just that. It's that in my head, I'm trying to think of what a coach that knows this is going to come back on them, right? 100%, they're aware that this is
there
not.
There was a parent in the meeting.
Yes, this is not going to go away. What is your end game? Is the end game just we're going to get Sarah to start our first game for us? Is that it? You just think that we need her on the field, and if this goes bad, we won't have her. Not that I'm going to get in trouble or fired. That never enters your mind.
Idiots. All right, we have a couple of follow-ups. This first one, we talked about the tragedy in Carroll ISD of the 7th grader who passed away tragically on Thursday of last week, Julio Oliveira. And so we now have learned a little bit more about the incident, that this was not on campus, that evidently he moved to the United States from Brazil 5 years ago. Didn't speak English at the time, but has a passion for soccer, has been playing for the same club team out there in South Lake for 4 years. And so he was, from what I understand, he was at his club's soccer practice on Thursday afternoon, but I think it was on property at a Carroll ISD facility. Still not very clear to me, but he suffered a brain aneurysm during practice. And so they rushed him to Cook's Children's, and they couldn't do anything for him. So, and he had practiced the day before, and everything was normal. His coach said that he's spoken to his father, and Julio's father has just talked about how Julio was just such a blessing, and he always had such a positive attitude and was such a great kid. And so they are having a public memorial that's about to start in South Lake at Whitechapel Methodist Church.
Right there off 114.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so the community is gathering to honor and memorialize Julio Oliveira, who died tragically of a brain aneurysm. Just wanted to give you that update. And we also have an update on the Navy SEAL, who is the man who claims to have killed Osama bin Laden, who was arrested in Frisco last week. And we now have the arrest report. Okay. And so this is kind of a wild story. He was staying at the Omni Frisco Hotel at the Star. And so I think this is Wednesday night or maybe Wednesday morning, because we talked about how he recorded a podcast Tuesday night at a cigar lounge up there in Frisco.
Yeah.
And so this may have been later that night, or it could have been the next night. Again, apologize, as Community Quick Hits does not have complete information. But they got a report. The hotel's night manager said that, at first there was a guest that was asleep at the bar, and it was him. It was Robert O'Neill. And so staff wakes him up, and they offer to escort him up to his room in a wheelchair. And he's like, I don't need a wheelchair.
I killed Osama bin Laden.
Did you ever hear about me killing Osama bin Laden? And so he refuses the wheelchair. So a security officer says, well, I'll help you to your room. Escorts him to the elevator. They go up to the 5th floor. And then a little bit later, the security officer radios down to the desk saying that he was struck by O'Neill. And so according to the police report, they get there about 12 a.m. and the night manager tells them that an intoxicated man assaulted their security officer who was escorting him to their room. And so they go up to the room and they find O'Neill trying to unlock his room with his credit card.
Okay.
Oh, killer, me and you have done that 1,000 times.
That's not your key, sir.
All the time.
They say he was unstable on his feet and smelled strongly of alcohol, and his eyes were red and glassy, and they believed he was a danger to himself and others, so they arrested him. So this is the detail of the assault part. So the security officer takes him up there and is trying to help him into his room, and he's fumbling with the credit card because he can't find his room key. And so the security guard is trying to intervene and trying to help him, and O'Neill spins around and does a palm punch to his chest. This guy's a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
So he's got, like, even though he's wasted...
1,000 moves, and he can just dial them up at any time.
Yeah, even though he's wasted, he has the muscle memory, and so he can just whip around and do the palm punch to the chest. And it struck the security officer so hard he fell to the ground, and he ended up having a red welt on his chest, and he felt pain in his chest. And at that point, he turns to O'Neill, and he's like, I can't believe you just hit me. And then O'Neill reportedly looked back at him and goes, I can't believe you just hit me.
God, what chaos. How did he know? How did he remember which room he was in when he's at the bar asleep and they're like, where are you? Where are you staying?
I don't know if the manager told the security officer which room. I don't know how they sussed that out. But then kind of the cherry on top of the whole thing is during this little scuffle when he palm punched the officer in the chest, he allegedly called the officer an effing N-bomb.
Whoa.
And O'Neill has denied that, even though he was wasted and could not stand and didn't know the difference between a credit card and a room key. He tweeted, I categorically deny ever using the horrible language that was reported. But
how would you know? Is there not video evidence? Like, do they have cameras in the hallways of these hotels?
I don't know. And even if they do, it probably doesn't have audio.
It would seem like in the Michael Irvin world that we live in, that it would be pretty easy to put those things up and you would have evidence.
Was he so drunk that he could he still spin like a ball on his nose?
He's not
a seal.
He's a Navy SEAL. Thank you, Bob. And that's your quick hits for today.
Here's this red ball. I'm going to need you to spin it.
Here's some fish.
Yeah, go.
Good job.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.